Hi there, my name is Kay Moon and I'm a Western astrologer and Twin Flame channel. And this is a video about the Libra new moon and solar eclipse for divine counterparts and twin flames. Few announcements before we begin. Star Club is open. Seats for the Astro chats, which is where I do a live hot seat and read your chart or break down the chart of someone you love, are moving fast. We've only got a few days left to enroll. But I would definitely get your seat now if you know you want to join. Now, if you've had a reading with me in the last 60 days, there is an opportunity in your inbox to apply your reading payment to your Star Club investment. The invitation hit your inbox this weekend, but if you don't see it, feel free to reach out to me and I can resend it. For those of you who have done Star School 101, 201, or 301, there is a way for you to join Star Club for savings. Look for that invite this week. And if you don't see it, again, feel free to email me if you're interested in joining the community. Secondly, there will be a Star Club open house this Wednesday night at 6 p.m. During the open house, it's going to be free. I'll take you on a tour of our member area, show you how our Astro chats work, do some Astro Q&A about the eclipses and current transits, and it'll be live on Zoom, but there will not be a recording. So if you want to come, please plan to register at the link below the video, and there will definitely be a little bit of a gift in it for those of you who do join live. There are spaces in the calendar this week if you'd like to book a reading next week as well. And a gentle reminder to like this new moon solar eclipse lunar update if you hear something that resonates or illuminates while you're listening. It's one of the best free ways to support the channel and the work that I do so I can keep making videos like this for you. If you're new here, welcome. At the end of the Lightworker Energy Update, I offer something called First Look at the tail end, which will give you a glimpse at how the energy progresses from here. The full moon in Aries in mid-October. Definitely have a listen to that first, the Lightworker Energy Update for this lunation, because it will give you a bigger picture of why I'm interpreting the energy for the divine counterparts the way that I am in this part 2 video. To quickly recap, we have the new moon solar eclipse in Libra taking place at that 10th degree. We see it conjunct the south node, which opens access and gateways to the past. New moons and solar eclipses are beginnings. We see a connection to the shaman's asteroid, which is all about learning lessons from our long journeys and bringing them back for application in the present. We see Lilith, who really wants to participate, but in a way in which she is honored. We see Mercury, which is bringing consciousness of these energies to light. And then we see Juno, the divine feminine energy, really highlighting the fact that this is about collaboration, partnership, and specifically romantic partnership as well. We've got a square to Mars at this lunation. We also see a square to Pholus and Ceres. This is making a lot of emotion-driven action, and this is showing us where we need to release certain elements of toxicity from the structures of our life so that we can be in a place where there is room for something better to show itself at this lunation. And let me just see. Shaman's after little Mercury, Juno. South Node, Mars, Chariklo, that's the one I was missing. She is bringing in some element of blessing from the trine formation if we're willing to make the request. We see a semi-sextile to Venus, and this is highlighting some level of love and connection in shadow that comes with either power games, manipulation, control, fear, or shame, and in some cases, secrets, rage, and or anger. So, for a deeper understanding, as I mentioned, about why and how this constitutes a reunion or repeat energy when it comes to relationship dynamics and how to not repeat a cycle without necessarily having to throw the baby out with the bathwater, I went into extensive detail about that in the Lightworker Energy Update. This part 2 gives us an interpretation of the energies for the divine counterparts, whom I read as Juno, the divine feminine or wife of the zodiac. This is her symbol here, and Jupiter, whom I read as the divine masculine or husband of the zodiac. I read them more as fields of energy that can influence us in connection rather than specific people, since we all have both energies, but there will be some who identify as having exclusively divine masculine or divine feminine energies in connection. Where you can, cultivate internally and listen for these updates for both to balance both in your own energy, as union within can be a platform for union without. Where there isn't any balance, know that there's likely a reason for operating as exclusively divine feminine or exclusively divine masculine energy due to lessons or leadership required of you at this time. Let's start with the divine feminine energetic fields. Yeah, love doing Juno first. Here she is, right there, that purple one. And now, because she is featured in the eclipse energy, much of her story and the influence of her energy fields have already been spoken about in that Lightworker energy update in detail. So this will be a bit shorter and some added insights that stack on top of those primary interpretations. At that 18th degree of Libra, we see her conjunct the new moon solar eclipse configuration here, contributing to collective energies and influences. She's got the lessons from Makemake, the clarity from Lilith about her needs, as I mentioned. And we also see that Mercury is giving her the consciousness and capacity to communicate about all things. We see that square to Mars at that 15th degree of Cancer, and this energy in the divine feminine fields will create a certain level of moving on feelings more than anything else. Now, the square can mean the feelings aren't necessarily easy ones to move on. It comes with some confrontation with three things: being reactionary, one; acting from fear, two; or acting from love, three. The better handle we have on why we feel the way we feel and what we truly want, instead of just blindly acting on feelings in the moment, the less messy and more aligned this period has the chance to be. Where we are being reactionary, we have a chance to see what old pattern has shown up to trigger us and choose a new action in the face of it, with Mars speaking to Juno. So we can get into a new timeline that Juno is also opposite Chiron, which is opening up those triggers. Where we are acting from love, we have the opportunity to see the kind of courage that it's going to take at this time and what we'll have to let go of and have the courage to let go of to have something new unfold. And where we're acting from fear, we have the chance to see where we're playing small and acting in alignment with perceived limitation stories so that we can make a different choice. Thank you, Chiron. Because there's a trine from her to Jupiter at this particular solar eclipse, which again represents big new beginnings, this opens up a union window and communication window energy between the counterparts. There's a lot of opportunity for harmony here, especially mentally in the realm of communication, if both people are willing to talk to one another transparently, vulnerably, and freely about where they are at and listen with an open heart, open mind, and clean slate. There does seem to be some mutual motivation for this, even if it comes out sideways in the divine feminine energy fields because of the squares to Mars, or hastily in the divine masculine energy fields because of the semi-sextile to Mars, which we'll talk about in a moment. But there is astrological support for coming together, harmonizing, and being on the same page, if nothing else, in terms of communication, because they're both in air signs, even if it is slightly messy at the moment. Often in these union and communication windows, what can show up before harmonious connection does are all the blocks that we need therapy, that we need to deal with, that stop us from having healthy connections. So where we need therapy or to stop projecting the past onto the present, or where we need tools in communication or problem solving to be able to enact a better future. The absence of either those new tools and skills or that therapy, the absence of it will show itself as a major problem during a union or a communication window. It's going to show up with a spotlight at this time for the purpose of nudging us along with removing anything that stands in between us and experiencing love on earth. Now, we do see Juno receiving a trine here from Cheroklo. This is going to open up a lot of divine support and intercession available from angels, ancestors, and guides if we're willing to ask. And this also seems to showcase that the support really is at our fingertips, and many may feel a sense of giftedness or the hand of divine protection and guidance and favor in their connections at this time. The opposition to Chiron, as I mentioned, will open up a chance for triggers to instigate leadership through self acceptance and reconciling ourselves where abandonment or rejection has happened, but reconciling with ourselves so that we can see that it wasn't about us being left out, but about us standing out and being guided to lead the pack, not run with it. In the opposition, the triggers may show up first. Let this be your reminder about what they mean. All in all, the divine feminine energies are hosting the platform for connection to deepen, for renewal to happen, for union to go to the next level of connection. This is what will allow the connection to solidify at this time. Now, if you've heard something that resonates or validates something you've been experiencing, please hit that like button. And if you're new, subscribe. Welcome. It's the best free way to support the work and ensure that I can continue to do it for our community. The last thing I'll say about the divine feminine energies before we move into the divine masculine energetic fields is that there are a few that may have some energy that is triangulated walking into this new moon solar eclipse with Juno in conversation with both masculine energies. So we see Juno, the wife of the zodiac, the divine feminine, having a square with Mars. We see her in trine with Jupiter. Divine masculine, soulmate. At the moment, Jupiter stands in harmony with Juno, and she's in challenge with Mars through the square. For some, this could lead to a lot of perseveration and connection in the divine feminine energetic fields that completely misses the point of these connections if we're using the connections for comfort and not honoring the truth of where our heart is. In triangulated situations, there's always an opportunity to find ourselves splitting the heart from the body and regretting it later, especially at this new moon solar eclipse, which opens and closes timelines. So take care with this and make sure actions are based on what you want, such as being with the person you're choosing to be with, because you truly want that person and not what you fear, such as just choosing not to be alone. There's a world of difference between choosing someone because you love them and choosing someone because someone else isn't available. A half heart always shows itself in half hearted choices, and ultimately that will undermine both connections in the end. I go into detail about the coming and going of soulmates and twin flame connections, how to know the difference, know the timing, and navigating triangulated connections astrologically in Star School 201, Astrology for Twin Flames. So if you want to go deeper into that territory, you can join Star Club and we can take a walk through how to work with the astrology in your connection if union is something you'd like to explore or experience. Now, let's take a look at the divine masculine energy at this new moon solar eclipse in Libra. We see Jupiter in Gemini. This is a beautiful energy for bringing options into the divine masculine energy fields. Gemini is our sign that gives us the chance to explore, to go wide rather than deep, to take things step by step rather than needing a conclusion. So, with Jupiter in Gemini, our divine masculine energy fields have had a lot of spaciousness and opportunity for curiosity. Now, the sign of the twins can carry a lot of mirroring energy. So, we do see that this year and into next, mirroring energies have the potential to be high between counterparts. So, keep that in mind as long as Jupiter is in Gemini. Let's deal with the planets that the divine masculine and divine feminine are both speaking to first so we can address the mirroring. We see that Jupiter, just like Juno, is talking to Mars, but he's having a conversation with her via this, or him via the semi-sextile. So again, with Mars in Cancer, we get actions based on feelings. Feelings need clarity before we can base actions on them so that the action is aligned with our truth and not our fears. And because this is a semi-sextile with Mars in front of Jupiter, this way, this ultimately does help with doing a little bit of thought before acting. So it's not completely reactionary, but it's not completely grounded either. It can be a bit of thinking on your feet energy with actions not fully thought through before they were taken, which can create a little bit of incongruence between actions and words. We see a sextile to Chiron in Aries here for the divine masculine energy fields. This indicates that there's some level of greater self acceptance that's taken place in the divine masculine energy fields regarding things we've been through that may cause us to question or doubt ourselves or our worth. It's in these areas where we may find confidence gaining ground at this new moon solar eclipse. Hooray! We see a square to Saturn in Pisces. They're inside of, and also conjunct Nessus, those two, that combination. This gives us some energy that allows us to take more grounded action, but it can feel a bit like we have clipped wings with this one. Where we'd rather fly, we have to drive. Where we'd rather drive, we need to bike. Where we'd rather bike, we're being asked to walk. What can feel like slowness is actually going to help us be a bit more measured in our actions. And this is a good thing, given how easy it may be to be reactionary at this new moon solar eclipse. We see a square as well to Neptune there, also in Pisces, both square to Saturn and square from Neptune to Jupiter. This will help us have a little bit of visionary ability with the events unfolding, and it can help us in our imagination capacity and even with some of our manifestation as well, as this is going to help us think big, see the big picture. There can be a tendency to brush over challenges with some wishful thinking, but thankfully, Saturn's influence balances that nicely. So we get the best of both worlds, with Jupiter speaking to both Saturn and Neptune. Lastly, we get this square to Vesta, and because this constitutes a T square with Saturn and Pisces, the solution is to lean into Sagittarius with our choices. And what is Sagittarius? Faith, hope, optimism, and truth. And where required, get some education. Now, for some, this will be about career, and others, it will be about our relationship skills. And for many, there will be a mirror between the skills we need to acquire to uplevel relationships that will also be the same skills that we're going to have to require, that we are required to take on to uplevel our career. So this is talking about where we feel stuck, taking a look at where filling a knowledge gap with getting new tools or coaching or skills can help us level up. Now, in summary, the divine masculine energy fields is holding the space for growth and exploration. And this is what allows the connection to expand at this time. So if this has created some validation in what you're growing through or illuminated some of what's behind your experiences, definitely consider joining Star Club. The community and the classes make it significantly easier to know how to handle what's happening in connection. It will also make it easier to know how to work with it in ways that elevate your connection so you can get out of trapped cycles, out of waiting, out of trying to hope and wish and pray for divine timing or manifestations that get you some of the way there, but not all of the way there. Really understanding how to work with the astrology in an empowered way will get you out of separation ruts. And the link to join the Star Club community is below this video. And of course, you can join our open house on Wednesday. I'd love to have you. There won't be a recording, but there will be something special for the people who join us live. The link to register for the open house is below this video. Thank you so much for every like, comment, new subscribe, and share. It is a pleasure to do this with you. I look forward to being with you at the next lunation. And for those of you signing up, I look forward to seeing you in Star Club. Take great care and bye for now.